can support this show at patreon.com/ASA podcasting.
The wasteland is a post-apocalyptic mess as the sole survivor wanders out about to see the rest. Nuclear explosions sending out the gamma rays from deep within the core, gross atomic waste. From deep within the core, gross atomic waste.
Hello and welcome to the 390th edition of the Fallout Feed. I am Andrew, joined by a flock of my favorite Fallout folks. Tonight, we have Jess. What's up, Jess?
Great, Sandro. Hey, everybody.
And Ray. What's going on, Ray?
Howdy, howdy.
And if you can hear, sound quality might be a little different. I am on the road this week, so we're just having a fun time playing a little bit of Fallout. I am off traveling for Thanksgiving, but we still thought we would check in and see how everyone's doing and their Fallout play and stuff. So let's just check in with Thanksgiving festivities. Ray, did you have a good Thanksgiving? Did you get to go out to you were searching for a new place, weren't you? Was your
no,
was
I got vetoed.
Oh no!
My sister and my wife and her brother wanted to cook dinner together. So,
oh wow! Anything special or typical Thanksgiving?
No,
stuff?
just the traditional Thanksgiving: turkey, mashed potatoes, stuffing.
And do you dig on that sort of thing? You sound
yeah.
a little nonplussed by it.
Well, it's tasty. It's probably what I would have had if I had gone out to eat. So it's fun. They enjoyed themselves. That's important.
Ray is sacrificing his you can tell. It's like, oh, as long as she had a good time.
Oh,
all was right with the world. Jess, did you get your burrito?
Yes, I had 2 burritos this week.
Oh man, I want to try all of those burritos.
Thanksgiving burritos are the absolute best. Absolute best. They're so good. Not spicy at all, but it's just really good. A nice drizzle of cranberry. Like sometimes when I tell people about it, they're like, "Oh, I wouldn't have the cranberry." But no, that tart.
Oh, you have to have it. Yeah,
that stripe of tart really helps. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it really a burrito or is it just a wrap?
Oh, it's fully a burrito.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's tucked in. It's rolled. It's got all the things it should have.
What's the difference between a burrito and a wrap, then?
Well, I feel like a wrap has lettuce and is usually open on one end. I don't know.
All right. Just wanted to clarify. Does sound delicious.
Yeah. And then the pug and I had steak today. So we eaten well.
Oh, steak. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go up to Michigan for the stop off at the aunt's house on the way, but then go up to Tori's parents for the weekend in Michigan. But Tori's was ill all last week and she still wasn't feeling great. So we decided not to go up there. So we had we had to rush a little bit yesterday. On Thanksgiving Day morning, she decided, oh, we're not going to go. So I was just like, well, do we have anything here in the house to make stuff? Oh, shit. But all the stores will be closed. And then I looked it up. It's like, no, fucking everything is open. I'm like, why? Wait a second. Why is everything open on Thanksgiving Day? That sucks.
On the day, that's kind of odd. Yeah.
That sucks for those people who have to work. And I hate contributing to the society that makes those people have to be there on that day. So I felt really bad about going shopping on Thanksgiving morning, but I went out and grabbed some of the staples and stuff. And we did a little mini Thanksgiving meal at home. And then I spent the better part of the day putting up the exterior, the Christmas decorations, like the lights up on. Well, it was 60 degrees in Indiana. And in late November, that doesn't happen too often. So I was like,
no, take advantage of it.
Even if I look at the weather and it says it's going to be 45 tomorrow, I could very well wake up and there be an ice storm. Like that's how weather works. And I know that's every state. Every state loves to claim that they have crazy weather. Just wait 10 minutes and the weather will change on you. But in late November, would I rather put the lights up in nice 60-degree weather in my shorts? Or would I rather be on a ladder when it's like 25 degrees next week sometime? So I took advantage of the weather situation, got all my blow mold set up on one sort of side of the front door. And then it looked really naked on half the house. And the next day I spent that day getting all the inflatables sort of staked down and got everything plugged in and ready to go. And so I spent 2 days getting the whole house sort of. Oh, we did inside too. So, and then we went and got the Christmas tree today.
It's
That was our
often a
big thing.
traditional thing that people wait and start doing that right after Thanksgiving. But obviously, your house, you don't wait for any such thing. And I have to say, your
Well,
blow molds look fantastic. Like you showed
I
the
was
display, they look so good.
I was gonna wait until after Thanksgiving. Out of respect to my wife and my neighbors, I'm a big Christmas fan and I don't give a fuck. I'll start it in October. But out of respect to my wife, who every blow mold I bring into the house, I can see the look in her eye get a little more concerned. And she's starting to say stuff like now, ha 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 ha, Andrew, let's not fill up the entire yard, sort of in a joking way. But I can tell she's getting serious. Now she's like, all right, when is enough? Or have you brought enough home yet?
For people who haven't
So
seen, how many would you say you have now? 10, 12?
there was 13 I put up this year.
Oh,
Which is
Baker's
considerably
dozen.
more. Like it's starting to get. It was just two for a long time. I got a Santa and a Frosty a bunch of years ago, and those were the two that I set out for years and years and years. And then about 5 years after, I got like one more, and then the next year got two. Then the year after, I got four. Then the year after, it's just like all of a sudden, how many I get every year is exponentially increasing, and my wife is starting to realize. she's she's like, wait a second, you got how many this year? It's like only five. Like that's not. She's like, wait a second.
5 plus 4 plus 3 plus
Yeah,
2.
yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Like,
she can designate a certain spot in the house. So you have this many cubic inches of Christmas decoration storage space, and whatever
I
you can
can't
fit
go
in
over
there,
that.
you
Yeah.
can put outside, but nothing more.
Well, that's when Andrew starts getting fucking rental storage spaces, Ray. It's like
Well, see, that's violation. It's
Tori's like, what is this mysterious $48 charge every month? What is going on here?
Blow mold of the month club.
Yeah, exactly. It's for you, honey. It's a Tori Appreciation Club. No, yeah. So we've been putting up stuff. Came to Winchester today, where my mom lives, and then went over to fun little town called Union City. They had a little tiny itty bitty Christmas parade, which was literally just like a few ambulances in the town, the couple cop cars, and like people on golf carts who strung lights around their golf carts. It was really unimpressive, but all that much more adorable because it was just like a tiny little town's like Christmas parade. Someone from Indianapolis would like look at this and roll their eyes and be like, that was pathetic. But it just enriched my heart even more. It's just like, oh, this was just adorable. Look, they're trying so hard. But,
and that's the thing. They could just as easily say, this isn't much of a parade. We won't even do it.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
They have the spirit. They have the passion for it. And that's what makes it great.
And the thing is, I'd never done the actual parade before, but it actually ends in a park that has my absolute all-time favorite Christmas display. And I really do like the cool new style of like lights programmed with music and everything with the computer. You have the programmable stuff. Like that's impressive. That's very cool. But for some reason, the simple vintage stuff is really what gets me. And this whole park is nothing but they take an iron ring and hang it from a branch of a normal like deciduous tree, like an elm or an oak or maple or something. But through that, they string like 8 different strands of lights, like half on one here, and then they just make the whole way around the circle. So it looks like a cone. So it just looks like a fir tree or whatever from far away. They make the cone shape, but it's all out of all the deciduous trees because they don't have any fir trees in the park, but it just looks like hundreds that they do so many. It just looks like hundreds of these beautiful, like decorated Christmas trees, but it's all an optical illusion and it's awesome. It's a tiny, simple little thing, and they just do it over and over in every tree in the whole park. And it's just so simple yet uniform that it's very impressive. And it's not like over the top with its presentation or anything.
Well, it sounds really pretty. I'm glad you got to do a
pretty
thing.
amazing. Well, we do it multiple times. Whenever I come to my mom's house, I come a lot during the Christmas time because we go over there that park. I generally do it 2 or 3 times a year, if not more. But yeah, so I'm spending the weekend with my mom. I'm going to help her. I got all my Christmas stuff put up, so now I can. She's getting a little up there in the years, so needs a little more help with getting her display with stuff put up.
I put up half my Christmas decorations before Thanksgiving myself, too. You
Oh,
might
no
have seen
way.
that post. Yeah, I put the hat, the Santa hat, on my pumpkin, and that's roughly half the amount that I decorate for Christmas.
That's about what you do.
No, but I have a wreath and I have a few lights I might put up in the window, but I'm not going to go outside and do the blow mold unless we get the party penguin you were suggesting.
Oh, party penguin with the disco lights on the inside. Come
Yes,
on.
it's a good idea. It's got to happen.
Just that would, you know what, Jess? That would be actually an extremely weird but awesome Christmas display if you just had one penguin, nothing else in your yard, just one penguin on your porch, and it was just doing just a fucking crazy light show with like all your programmed like flashing lights and everything, Christmas music EDM going off, and this party penguin just flashing like crazy. I think that would be a hilarious Christmas display. That'd be really funny.
Yeah, that would be something Flippy would get up to. My penguin, he gets up to no good, so maybe I'll try it.
Come on, Flippy, do it. You can invite the party pumpkin too.
So I'll just briefly tell you about my excitement with the whole Thanksgiving preparation. So I'm not
Yeah, what are you
traveling.
doing?
It's simple. And I had a decent day yesterday. Talked to Mom, of course, for a little bit. But I was provisioning for Thanksgiving. And besides the burritos, you need food for the long weekend. And my Instacart order went very weird. I only got about half my order. And I got apparently a $55 steak.
Like accidentally
Yes.
delivered to you? Or
Oh, I did not order a
you
$55
ordered-
steak. In
okay.
fact, that would be an 8-pound steak. They do not really sell 8-pound steaks, although the pug wishes they did very heartily. It's actually smaller than what I had ordered, and he put in the cost of $8 for the weight as 8 pounds, and ended up being quite an expensive steak.
Oh my God.
So
Wow.
got that sorted. I'll get that refunded, but it did mean I only got half the groceries I planned. It's enough to make it through the weekend, thank goodness.
Oh, that stinks. Well, did you at least get the pup some
Oh, yeah.
good treats?
He's all set. Like I said, we had steak today. In fact, he was in Hobbit mode all day yesterday. He had like first breakfast, second breakfast, 11 Z's.
Oh, nice.
I went all out for him. Oh, yeah.
I was gonna say, what'd you guys do? So sit and watch the movie marathon? But no, you're talking about meal wise. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, no movies. I'm thinking, I found myself on Netflix and I'm thinking that I really need to do not trash TV, but just comfort TV, kind of catch up.
I thought you canceled your Netflix.
I had.
Netflix again?
I started it again in August so I could watch Sandman. And then
Oh, and you like The Witcher too, don't
Yeah.
you?
I caught up on Witcher. But actually, after Sandman, Witcher, and a few other things, I hadn't been using it. So I had put in to cancel it again. But Dragon Age has a cartoon coming out in December on a
Neat.
Dragon Age Absolution. So yeah, I'm getting a Dragon Age cartoon like we had the Cyberpunk cartoon. So I added that to my list. I got
Mhm.
Dragon Age on the list. I went through and I looked at these sci-fi shows that I hadn't ever watched. So probably coming up over the weekend, I'm going to watch some TV.
Nice.
Yeah. I know that's not that exciting.
No, that's out of left field for you. Or out of right field, whatever the phrase is. Ray, did you watch that Cyberpunk show?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, was it good? You have fun
Oh, it
with
was
that?
great. It was great. Yeah, and it was fun too because there was how many characters did I do from that? 4 characters
You created from the show?
from the show in the game. Yeah.
Oh, nice. And
So,
Jess, have you played Cyberpunk to get references and stuff?
I played the tabletop game and I'm familiar with the media, but I
Whoa.
never played the video game.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'll probably keep putting it off because the whole Witcher 3 update, but we can talk about that in a little bit.
And the good thing is that you don't really have to know anything about the game to enjoy the anime. It's really well done. It's a story it doesn't rely on you knowing anything from the game at all.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah. I assume you have to do that nowadays. I mean, our Fallout show is going to do that, right? They're not going to make it so that you've had to play any of these Fallout games in order to enjoy the TV show.
You wouldn't think
That'll
so.
just be a
Hopefully
rule.
there will be a layer there, some fan service references that you'll appreciate if you're familiar with the game, but they want to bring in a much larger audience, I am sure. So it'll be self-contained as well. But the Cyberpunk is definitely on the docket. What is it, like 8 episodes, Ray? Maybe 10?
Yeah, sounds about right. It wasn't super long, but there's enough in there to make it interesting.
Yep, gonna give
And
it
you
a
said
go.
it's a Dragon Age. You said Dragon Age. What'd you say it was called?
Absolution. Yeah, Dragon Age
Absolution.
Absolution. Something to tide us over while we wait for Dragon Age 4 to finally come out.
Is the series? What was the very first game? Was it just called Dragon Age?
It was called Dragon Age Origins, was the first. Came out, I think, 2009 for Origins. And they've been working on it since they finished up KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic. But they wanted to also do something kind of D&D based, like they had been, because BioWare came up doing Baldur's Gate, Neverwinter Nights, all those D&D licensed stuff. And so they did Dragon Age. It took a couple years. I think they worked on it like 6 or 7 years. Been 3 mainline games so far.
That's interesting that they titled the first one Origins.
Well, it has a really neat mechanic. So essentially, they built in the alternate start mod in a way. You know how we all want to have our different characters and origins and backgrounds. So for Dragon Age Origins, they gave you 6 possible origins. Basically, you could play a male or female elf, dwarf, or human. And then there was a human noble or human mage. There was dwarf noble or dwarf commoner. And all these different things, plus different genders. It was a neat mix. And so the first 2 to 4 hours of the game, you would play through the origin story of your character. And then that character went into the main game, and they all kind of like started with branches and went together. But throughout the story, it made a difference. So it was a really neat concept that they only did in the first game, but I really liked.
And what year was that? How long ago was that first one?
Yeah, 2009.
I think that's probably when modern games started. But where do you make that threshold drawing where modern games become advanced?
Every
of course,
generation.
every fucking 2 years.
A lot of times we think of it as generations. I know PC can keep evolving a little bit as time, as new graphic cards come out and stuff like that. But for a lot of games, it kind of goes with generational leaps. So you have Xbox and PS2. Then you have Xbox 360 and PS3. And then you've got Xbox One and PS4. So those generational leaps are kind of where it changes. So I kind of think of modern gaming as kind of happened around the time of the 360 or PS3, and it's evolved since then. But like the way that they build games, I feel has solidified a bit more. Although then you look at action adventure stuff like Uncharted and all the stuff they're doing that happened this last generation, it's still evolving.
Sweet. All right, you guys. Do you want to talk about some of our gameplay and stuff, what we've been getting into?
Yeah, one of the reasons why I went so off topic for the first part is because we don't have a whole lot to talk about this week. Let's say holiday week. So less news, less gameplay. You're on the road. We're hitting our Fallout 1.
I ran out of internet, like how you go to the internet station and you fill up on internet and you bring it home and you fill up your internet tank. I ran out of internet this week, so...
Yeah, you have to put some internet aside for those rainy days.
Gotta fill up the internet. But so the Comcast man was nice enough to come deliver some fresh bottles of internet. But I didn't get a chance to post the show before the internet was out for like 3 or 4 days. And I was like, Jesus Christ. And then when it came back on, I was so excited I forgot to post the episode. So I literally just posted last week's episode like yesterday or this morning. It might have been this morning. Yeah, it was like after midnight this morning.
If y'all are wondering why it was a Thanksgiving episode from last week, that is why.
Oops, sorry about that. So let's get into some of our gameplay then anyway. Ray, have you gotten a chance to play any video games this week?
Played a little bit, not as much as usual because I kind of got sidetracked with a new aquarium project. So I'm building a mountain stream aquarium.
Oh, Lord. I saw aquarium on there. I thought, ooh, Ray has a new fun video game simulator about aquariums. No, you're building a real... Is this in competition with your...
Paludarium?
Let me think of the
Paludarium.
word. Shut up. I was going to say the word. Come on. Let me pull it up. Paludarium. There we go. That counts.
We thought we were screaming at our phones. Sorry.
Yeah.
Scream. All right. So is it going to lead into that or something fun?
No. This is actually the tank that I used for my original pellet, and I couldn't really figure out exactly what I wanted to do with it. But I fell in love with these little fish called hillstream loaches, and they're like little tiny stingrays.
Loaches,
yeah,
crazy.
And so they live in mountain streams, and so they like fast moving water over smooth rocks. So now I've got a little tank. It's got a partition of rocks down the middle of it that causes the water to run around in a U shape. And so eventually I'll have little swimmers in there.
They look Similar to, I have no idea what they're called, but just the ones you put in there to keep the algae off your sides of your tank and stuff.
Yeah, they do look very similar to Plecostomus, only they don't get nearly as big. And they also aren't sucker fish,
They look like it though,
but they
They're
look
not?
like, yeah, no, they're not. They're grazers. So if you want a fish that's going to clean the algae off the front of your tank,
This is not it.
this is not the one you want.
Wow, the striped butterfly reticulated is very pretty.
Yeah, they're cool little fish. So
The
Let's see.
leopard spots, very cool. So river fast water, that means you're going to have a pump system and a retrieval system and all sorts
Yep.
of stuff going on there. What you have, like rocks, like you'll have to have a river rock
yeah,
bed
lots of big
system?
smooth river
And-
rocks.
An inclined surface, maybe. Like, are you worried about that, or are you using pumps to create the motion? So you probably
Yeah,
wouldn't
no,
be worried
just
about the
pumps.
incline.
Yeah.
And any land involved, or is just going to be an all underwater,
There'll be some logs that stick out, but short of that, not much.
but no terrarium aspect to it, no rare animals.
No, and nothing else will live in there with them as far as other
Only these
fish.
What do
Well,
they
I'll
eat?
have some minnows and stuff in there.
What do they eat?
They
You
eat.
said they're grazers. What do they graze?
They graze on the bacteria that grows on the surface of rocks.
So do you have to create that bacteria to mimic their natural environment somehow?
Yeah, you leave the lights on longer than you normally would.
And the lights create plant matter which bacteria eats, so it comes to eat on that
Yeah.
matter. Okay. Crazy.
So, but I did manage to get some No Man's Sky and some Rebel Galaxy.
This looks like an animal you might meet in No Man's Sky.
It's so I played some Expedition, not in Fallout 76.
Oh, kind of nice.
The other expedition. You said they're reposting old expeditions or something. I saw.
Yeah, the 4 expeditions that they did this year, they're redoing them in 2-week chunks.
That seemed kind of neat. So it's not you can choose which one you want to play, but it's like every 2 weeks they're rotating.
Yeah,
Okay.
And
and
is
so
this
that
something-
gives new players access to the special content that you get. There's all kinds of expedition rewards that you get every time that are nice to be able to use in your regular gameplay. And so people that are new to the game, especially Switch users, can now get access to those. Yeah, all pretty much all games are on Switch, aren't they?
Do not rub this in, Ray.
I don't have a Switch, so
Do you know anyone who's playing on Switch? Is Sherry playing Switch?
I don't think so. I think she's playing on a
'Cause she's-
computer.
She's jumped in head first into.
Oh yeah, she's
No Man's
tearing it
Sky.
up. She is
Yeah.
tearing it up. And Baker plays it on his Steam Deck.
Yeah, that's right. Which is kind of like a powerful Switch.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, I don't know anybody that's playing it on Switch.
So I can't imagine it's the same game, right? It just can't be.
No, it's not. It's the slightly softened graphics and not all of the aspects. Like I don't think they don't have multiplayer.
Oh, that would be a
So-
lot less taxing, I guess. Yeah.
But yeah, so Rebel Galaxy, I've just been kind of tinkering with it a little bit. I keep buying new ships. So every time I make a couple of 100,000 credits, I go and buy a new ship. So
And that's the sort of newish game you've been playing like the last few weeks.
Yeah.
month.
yeah.
How many
So,
space games can you play?
so Lee's pointing out in chat that I'm a shipaholic. It's true. It probably one of the best and worst things that ever happened was when No Man's Sky gave you 9 ships that you could have in your fleet. So
Just got too many. Do you have can you rotate ones out if you get an even better one, and you just keep constantly curating your ship collection?
oh yeah, you can collect them by color, or you can collect them by style, or there's all kinds of ways
Well,
to collect.
absolutely.
Get a nice ship collection.
I was just Well, all your space games, right?
Yeah, just waiting for the big one.
What's that new Star Wars game coming out?
Star something.
Star something. Yeah, that's 2024 at the earliest. I'm calling that.
Just a little dabble into Skyrim because you gotta. When I can't figure out what I'm gonna do for a full build, I use Unbound, which is an alternate start that lets you set everything to randomize.
Unbound?
And-
It's a totally
yeah.
different alternate start for Skyrim?
Yep.
Okay.
And so you start out by going into the mod configuration menu and making your selections as far as what you want to have random, what you don't want to have random. And then I take a 10-sided die, and because it doesn't randomize the race of your character. And so there's 10 races. So I take a 10-sided die and I roll that and get my race. And then I roll it again, even and odd for
Male or female?
female or male.
Mhm.
Yep.
That's
And
a really cool system.
then you go from there and see what happens. So the last one I did, it was an orc character, an orc male, and he was down by the water's edge below the College of Winterhold. And so I ran up the side of the hill and up to the college and got lucky because the spell that Feralda wanted me to cast was Healing Hands, which is a really low magic spell. And I was golden. I was
Nice.
in.
And like Flynn, I love it when it's an easy one. Now, does she give you the scroll or a way to learn whatever one she's asking for?
You have to give her 30 gold.
Okay. Okay. So there is a way, but costs a little
Yep.
something.
Yep. So, yeah. So that's always fun. It's a nice mod. So it lets you can start with or without dragons. You can start with dragons, only you delay them for a period of time before they start showing up. So a lot of flexibility in the randomness.
That actually sounds super cool. I forgot to post in Iguana Bits. I'll just mention now. So I bought Anniversary on PC today. Black Friday sales happening, everybody. And so I might have made sure I bought all the Fallout games on Steam because I had half of them on GOG, half of them on Steam. So now I have everything on Steam too. The full Game of the Year edition for 3, New Vegas 4, and then Anniversary for Skyrim. So I got everything on PC too because, I mean, what's good to have? You never know what's going to happen in the future. I know I prefer to play on Xbox, but
Today.
new PC, you want to start modding things again. Oh, it's horrible. Real.
Wonderful.
Yeah, wonderful too, for sure. But
When a game isn't good enough to win Game of the Year awards, what do they call the big edition with all the DLCs that they can? When they can't call it the Game of the Year edition, like 76, for instance, when they released its big bundle, what was it called?
So, yeah, because 76 is a live game and it's different, they didn't do that. So it's funny. Like when it comes to a AAA game, they can usually find somebody who gave it an award somewhere where they say Game of the Year edition.
Okay.
But a lot of the times they'll call it the Ultimate Edition or they'll come up with a clever name.
I've seen that.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. I've definitely seen Ultimate Editions.
The Legendary Edition, the Compendium, the Complete Edition.
Compendium.
But Andrew, if you didn't have internet this week, that means you probably got to play a lot of non-online games. Is that right? Or what did you play?
Well, no, I played a good deal of Fallout Classic, but a lot of it was stuff that we'll be getting into next week for the Roundtable episode. So I don't want to get too deep into that, but kind of similar in Eric's feedback he mentioned last week, he sort of stumbled upon Necropolis. All I knew was we're supposed to head south from Vault 15. So I started heading there, and I guess I veered too far to the east or whatever because I missed Junktown.
Now,
And
did you
went-
talk to somebody who put it on your map ahead, or no? You had no idea. You were just kind of
No,
going blind.
I just knew you're supposed to go southward some direction. One of the people at, God damn it, Shady Springs, Sandy's Hook, the town.
Bitter
Springs. Yes, that one. They say go south, basically. Go south, young man. So I headed south and took too much of an angle and ended up at that Necropolis town, who Eric spoiled. That's where our water chip is that we're looking for. But I did the thing where I like went around, I killed all the ghouls, and then I found Ian on the other goddamn half of the map. And by the time I got over there, the ghouls were like eating his face, and he died. So I was like, "Oh
No,
shit!"
is Ian dead in your
Let's,
playthrough, or did you reload?
I reloaded. So I stuck with him then instead of going off and sort of like taking care of ghouls myself. I thought, oh, we'll split up and take care of him. No, they overwhelmed him pretty quickly because he uses a gun, so that's pretty loud. So I guess they all swarm to him pretty quickly. Whereas I'm unarmed, so I'm moseying around pretty quietly and able to sneak up on things. But Waterground Necropolis took care of most of the ghouls and stuff. Again, we'll get into this next week, but I did not find the water chip, and I kind of didn't press it on purpose because I was like, oh, I kind of want to find this later. I'll come back and find it. So I didn't dig too deep into Necropolis, but I got myself back up to Jerky Town, and we'll talk about Jerky Town. Listen to me. We'll talk about Junk Town next week on the show.
You getting Junktown Jerky or Jerky Town Junk?
Yeah, exactly. I'm reading some magazine over here.
I want to say one of the characters knows where Junktown is. Which one is it? Oh, it's that Ian guy.
Yeah, I got it on my map.
I talked to Ian.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't actually know if I've ever talked to Ian.
Oh, he's got a lot to say.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, he's got a few things.
He'll also be able to tell you where the hub is. Just FYI.
It's a hub when I need to know where that is.
Yep.
But there is something to be said. Eric was saying that he started this game. He's like, when I was talking to him on the side, he said, I kind of approached this the way you did New Vegas last time, where you just sort of like ran the perimeter of the map and were discovering all the different things you could before actually starting quests and stuff. And I thought, oh, that's pretty fun. But then all of a sudden, I thought, wait a second, how many days does he have left now? After you've opened up your map and stuff in this game, is it actually, because Ray, you always keep telling me, oh no, there's plenty of time. But is there plenty of time if you run around and open up the entire map first?
No, there's not plenty of time for that.
No, you don't have time for that. Okay.
No, because that does eat up a lot of time.
And it's not actually time spent, it's time calculated in game, like, oh, you traveled from this point to this point, so that's like 8 days.
Yeah.
How many, for instance, between our two vaults, 13 and 15? Was that, how many days travel was that?
I think it was like 5 we calculated last week, 5 or 6.
5, okay.
Yeah.
Because I discovered that I had used about 15 days going back and forth and then hanging out in Shitty Sands doing stuff.
Shitty Sands.
That's the real name. I'm just making stuff up every time.
Yeah. And Junktown, I imagine, is at least that distance, if not twice, between 13 and 15. I imagine the distance south to Junktown is at least that, right?
It's a ways, yeah.
If not twice, right? Okay.
And you might want to check your post-it note, see what it says for time left.
Yeah, it was 121 days or something. So
Oh,
I'm
you
not
good.
feeling pressed yet.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, no, I've got 127 and I haven't done any of that. So you're being really efficient.
I watched a little video about the mysterious stranger. I think our friends over at Tapes from the Waste are going to do a whole episode on the mysterious stranger, which is exciting to hear for one of our fun little topics. But of course, I did that whole, oh my God, I can't believe the mysterious stranger has been here since the beginning of the very first game. And every week I'm shocked by every aspect of the game, the Fallout series that is still in the game or was in the game already at game number 1. But yeah, so it was fun to see the mysterious stranger, his first appearance. And Eric showed me a video of him because they're doing a little special on the mysterious stranger.
Awesome.
So
Yeah.
it's one of those red lightning bolts you can run into, just a random encounter out in the middle of the wasteland,
Yeah, those are definitely fun. I always look forward to them, but there's always that chance that it's going to be the 6 rad scorpions.
Well, that's the only one I've seen. Like, you explain these other things, and I'm like, I've seen the 6 rad scorpions twice, but I haven't seen like any normal, just random encounter. Like, no, raiders. I ran into a group of raiders once.
Yeah.
And looted their bodies and such. And early on, it seems like that's the only way to get equipment. Just run around and hope to run into those raiders to get their gear.
Yeah, there's a random that you can run into that's a group of caravan guards and a group of raiders shooting it out. And that's like the holy grail.
So you can get both of them?
Yeah, you just let them kill each other. and then go loot
smart.
those bodies, and you come away with more than you and Ian can carry.
And I still haven't even opened up Ian's thing. You said use the steel option to access his. I still haven't tried that. Did finally run into the problem where I was like, no, you can't pick that up because it will make you over encumbered. That is nice that it doesn't let you pick up too much, but still at the same time, I think, man, screw you. Let me pick up as much as I want. I'll deal with the consequences of that. Like in the new game, so you have to figure something out. But this one, I won't even let you pick it up. So it looks like I probably will have to learn how to use Ian's steel inventory or whatnot.
Yeah, it's handy.
Cool. So gameplay otherwise, let's see. I hopped on randomly the other day and saw Nana Janet in an expedition, so I hopped in there and helped them out just a little bit. I was just killing trogs any which way I could, but I was very impressed. Nana Janet leading the whole group, and she nailed all of the optional things. So like just me hopping in like near the end of their expedition, I got 8 stamps for very little effort. I was like,
It's
wow,
nice.
thanks. That is really nice. Thanks, guys. And Alex was talking about his stamp count, Jess. He's like, yeah, I've still got like 19,000 stamps left before I get 1,900.
I think it was, like 1,700
Oh my
something.
God.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was crazy.
He's got it all
just
calculated to get everything.
And then I'm like, did he get all the gold plans? He probably has all the gold plans. Holy shit.
Yeah, he did. He did all the bullion. That was a goal. Yeah. It's we all need a goal or things to work for. Some of us just making it through the scoreboard. Others are getting every darn plan out there.
Well, and he's an actual power armor user, so getting all of those power armor plans makes sense for him. For me, I'm like, this is a total fucking waste of time for me to worry about getting power armor plans. Something I'll never ever use.
Totally.
Oh yeah. Okay. So what was I doing otherwise? Gameplay, yeah, expedition with Nana. Oh, and then Jess. I wrote Jess yesterday. I had just a crackpot of an idea. I was just like, I was running around. I have my one Christmas/Halloween camp that's divided by a river. I call it my Christmas river camp.
Every holiday camp.
Every holiday camp. But I built a new camp over by Fred's barbecue that has all the foxes running around there in the parking lot. So I built a nice little house right off the parking lot there, as close as I could. And then I put a little stage out front, and it's just slowly evolved into a Christmas barbershop quartet stage performance that I did with like mannequins and costumes. I have the bubble octopus going on back there, and then all the Christmas lights around it that I can, and all the Christmas decorations, and I set up the quantum vendor bot guy. I put the coffee machine and the popcorn right beside it, and I have my blueprint of the wizard that I did last year, where I drop merged Santa into the wizard box. So when the wizard is rubbing the ball, he's actually rubbing Santa's head. It's like Santa's head is the crystal ball.
That's the best.
That's fun. I dropped that in. But then I was like, just looking at other like little Christmassy things around, and I was like, I like to leave my vendor open by hopping on this gold Mr. Rocket machine or whatever, and was sitting here right by my reindeer. Man, I wish I could ride my reindeer. Why can't I ride a goddamn? And then all of a sudden, click, click, it goes off in my head. You could drop merge this reindeer into this rocket. And say, oh, let's try this. And 4 hours later, here's Andrew. Fuck, I can't figure this out. Jess, please help me. so
we got
I run
it pretty
to
quick.
Messenger. I run to Messenger. I'm like, hey, Jess, could you tell me how to drop merge again? I know it's been about, I don't know. I can say safely a year since the last thing I did was Santa Claus into the wizard thing. So I know that it was last Christmas that I've been doing this. I totally forgot how. Remind me how. So I did the drop merge thing with the pressure plate, which she reminded me the process of. Very helpful, thanks. But I got the reindeer sunk down into the rocket ride. So when you hop onto the rocket, it looks like I'm riding a reindeer, and then you point like you're going forward, dasher, or something like. So when you're riding the rocket, you do that little point move. And I was just really tickled. I was like, wow, this really worked a lot
That was
better than I
great.
thought it should.
I was
So
glad you
that's
shared
what
it
I-
on
that's-
Twitter, did a little video, shared it on Twitter. I actually have an idea. I kind of want to get on while you're on and get a
Uh-huh.
video of you doing that because I want to turn you into like a
Oh.
Nyan Cat. You know how Nyan Cat does the rainbows and flies across the screen with the song?
Oh yeah.
I want to do a version of you on the reindeer doing that animation flying across the screen. Like I think that would be
Sounds
really
good.
fun.
Yeah, we can do that. Totally. We'll make that work. Other than that, just sort of been putzing around, making my camp more Christmassy, just really scouring the build menu for every little object that could be interpreted as Christmassy and whatnot. So that's what I've been messing with gameplay wise. But lots of Fallout 1, Fallout Classic. But again, we'll get into a lot of that next week when we resume the roundtable. Jess, have you gotten to your gameplay? Did
Yeah,
you get to
so-
talk about your games?
I got some gameplay in this week. Ray, I segued to Andrew without double checking. Did you get everything that you had done this week that you wanted to mention? or-
Yeah, I did.
I thought so. I was looking at the notes, but I'll usually at least ask first. So I wanted to mention a couple things. So first of all, off what you said, Andrew, Mocha in our Discord. So Mocha is playing along with us, one of our play along people this time. And he had Ian die already as well, like you, but he's decided not to reload and just go with it. So there was a lot of discussion in our Fallout Discord about whether or
Oh,
not
wow.
we should reload or go with it. And we're all like, well, at
Well-
least it's not dog meat. If it was dog meat, maybe.
Well, what I thought was, I have zero clue if followers. Wow, of course that was already in the first Fallout game. But then I thought, is this the only one? Will there be more? I didn't look it up to see how many because I didn't know. Will this be impossible to get another one? So I was just like, well, let's go ahead and reload and just keep your follower for now. But I didn't know. Like, so are there 8 followers like there are in other Fallout games, or what are we looking at here?
I think there
I
are
think
like
there's 4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, so when you leave Junktown, you should have 3 followers.
You're speaking my language, sir. But what?
Yep,
And Dogmeat is in every game, right? We haven't run
Dog
into
meat,
Dogmeat
you'll
yet.
probably
so-
run
you-
into Junktown, right?
yep.
Oh, nice. Because I was assuming so, because we run into Rex in a junkyard in New Vegas, and New Vegas just loves to tip their hat to this game. So I would not be surprised if Dogmeat would be found in our junk area. Yeah. All right. That makes sense to me. Okay. And okay, so Dogmeat being one. And if you also take a clue from New Vegas, I'm gonna go out here on a limb, Ray, and guess that our third follower is going to be a robot of some kind.
Negative.
Damn it! There's not Ed E.
No
thing
robots yet. No, maybe the
No.
next
here?
game.
Okay. All right. So who are we talking for the third one? Do you want me to discover it myself, or are you gonna let me know?
We'll see.
We'll see. Okay, he's gonna make me twist in the
We'll
wind.
find out next
Yeah,
week. Yeah.
All right. I'll try to figure it out.
Yeah.
It kind of depends on how you handle the quests that we're going to be hitting in Junktown.
Yeah.
So you may or may
Oh.
not get them based on that.
Well, I've now done the one like 5 times because I can't figure out what the fuck it wants me to do. But and now you guys told me what it wants me to do. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, we'll get into that. Is one of the followers from that interaction how you play the Killian interaction,
I think
right?
so.
Jess?
Not directly, if I remember
No?
correctly.
Okay. And there was
But
a
he
basement too. Does it have something to do with the basement, the people in the basement?
That's a whole thing. That is a whole thing.
just worry about the 2 that you can get in Junktown.
Besides Ian. Okay. Where
Yeah.
did I pick up Ian? Oh, he was in Schittsburg. Right.
Yeah.
All right. Sure.
Yeah, that location. So I also wanted to mention, since you brought up some random encounters that you guys had run into, Lee's had a couple. He was telling us in chat some of the ones he's come across. So taking a look, and they took out some raiders. He's been wandering all over, has
Uh-huh.
no idea how much he's spent, but he's starting to get reminders from Vault 13 that he has a mission. So I think that starts around 100 days left. You start getting reminders. But he has seen an alien they've run into. He has run
No
into
way.
a blue
Mhm.
police box
Aliens?
looking a lot like, you see this police box behind me here?
Mhm.
Yeah, he's run into one of those out in the wasteland, and he and Ian
No.
approached it, and it disappeared on
Did a
him.
doctor come out of it? No way. That's great.
Didn't actually see
That's
the doctor.
cool.
Just it just dematerialized. And what else did he run into? Oh, a bunch of Brahmin. Just random stuff.
I saw some Brahmin too. I was trying to let them out of their pen just to see what the locals would do, and I couldn't get the Brahmin to leave the damn pen.
I got the used car lot.
A used car lot? Oh, that's cool. That's
Yeah,
cool.
What's that mean?
It's the guy that has a bunch of used cars to sell.
Cars don't go without fuel. What is he powering these with? I don't understand that. Why on
Well,
earth is there a
you'll-
used car lot?
You
I need
just
to find this person.
You just talk to him and you'll see.
Need to find that. Cool.
Yeah, the thing about this, I mean, there are cars that are going to show up in the game. I don't know how much in this game. We know in Fallout 2, there are a number of vehicles. So
What? No,
yeah, well,
really?
never said that there are no cars, especially in the earlier games. There are some vehicles that run. We just haven't had them in the recent Bethesda games or New Vegas.
Hmm.
But it's not all vertibirds all the time. But the problem with a lot of vehicles, it's not so much the fuel. The ones that are fusion powered, you could simply replace cores. You could do
you
that to
have
make them
fusion
run.
cores. Yeah.
But in a lot of cases, the machinery itself has deteriorated. And of course, the tires, like that was the first thing to go. Tires only last so long, and they're much harder to replace and such at that point.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely would have taken all the hundreds of motorcycles you see everywhere and pieced one together with all the good parts salvaged from all the others.
And coolant and this and that. So, I mean, it's more difficult.
Yeah.
And then in Fallout 2, there's actually a vehicle called the Highwayman that you get that is actually your mode of
Oh, right,
transportation to
right.
various locations. So,
We've used that in a trivia answer before. I
sure
remember I
have.
felt unfair about asking.
Yeah, vehicles and Fallout Tactics as well, Lee mentions. You might not use them much yourself, but they are in there. And of course, just in the 3D games, it's a little bit less practical. So, for my gameplay, I did play mostly just Fallout 76 this week for Fallout. Did a bunch of expeditions. Saturday night, just kind of ran the roads with the crew, jumped on with Shreds and Rages and some friends, and we did a bunch of expeditions. Did both an Ashes to Fire and Union Dudes. We did Union Dudes as well.
Union dudes.
Union Dudes, bro. And went through and got all the objectives there. One thing that I had heard before, but wasn't sure of, is that you don't have to turn your collars back into Ava Rose. We might have mentioned this before, but I always get nervous. I always turn the collars back in because I want those stamps. But as long as you got all the collars and you found the skeptic, you don't have to talk to her again.
I have to turn them in.
No,
Huh?
you do all the side objectives and you go back and you talk to Danilo and get ready to go, talk to Lennox. You'll actually still get credit, 100%.
What about like the steel ingots? Do you have to turn those in to someone
So,
and all that? Or you
Yeah,
just...
well, those go to Wicker, right? And I've never
Yeah.
not turned those in, but I'm guessing that if just achieving the goal works for Ava, probably works
would
for Wicker
also
too.
work there.
Mhm.
Okay.
So did that.
So
Actually jumped in another one too with Archon. One thing Archon does is he'll often run expeditions and just drop a note in Discord. Hey, I'm finishing up an Xbox or I'm finishing up a PC if someone wants to jump on and get some stamps. Because you can pop in the last 5 minutes and get full credit.
mhm.
So I jumped in and did that there too. Ended up playing with him and a few other people for a bit. Visited Shalene's Hole in the Ground camp. Did some basic run around. Did I mention last week that I'm switching weapons? I might have. I'm trying out the Gauss shotgun.
Ooh, is that fun?
It is fun. So the damage numbers on Gauss are probably double what I get on quad double barrel that I love so much, quad explosive double. But the practical amount seems to be about the same. So, like, for instance, if I have everything set and the damage numbers when I'm using the Gauss show like 450 to 500, and I can even charge it up to make sure I get the extra punch, it really still takes 2 to 3 shots to put some creatures down that take 2 to 3 shots with the double barrel, even though that one I can only pop up to about 300, 350. So I'm not sure which is better yet, but I'm trying it. I like a mix. So I made a bunch of them. I've got an anti-armor shoddy, I've got a super mutant shoddy, I've got a robot shoddy. Because I rolled a bunch, I kept the best for each category. And if I'm fighting the Queen and a bunch of Scorched for Queen fight, I switched to my Scorched shoddy. So I get the 50% bonus on Scorched and the faster fire or better VATS, whatever it is on that one. And it works great for the Queen fight.
I'm kind of intrigued that you also ran into this issue. I'm not sure if I actually brought it up on the show or not, but I had gold bullion to it. I actually hit the ceiling of gold bullion, and the game was like, you need to spend some of this before you cash more in. I forgot that there was a 10,000 gold cap or whatever, So I had to spend it on something. So I was just like, oh, let me go.
Did you go to Minerva or Vault 79 or something?
No, I was just trying Sam or whatever his name is there, standing there.
Samuel Clemens. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is it really Samuel Clemens? Really?
No, we don't know his last name.
Okay. I was like, what? Like Mark Twain. So I'm working on this pistol build. I've got all my pistol cards loaded. Let me try this Gauss pistol thing.
Oh, cool.
I don't even know what this is about. Let me take this home and figure it out and da 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 da. So I put it on, I go home and I make one and I roll one with legendary effects that I think are okay and all that. And then I look at its damage and with the card, and then I put my pistols cards on and I see, oh, the damage goes up when you put your pistol cards on. So it is indeed affected by your pistol cards.
Yeah.
And then I take it out and I look at the stats, and the stats say, oh, this does 250 damage per shot. That's pretty good.
It's serious.
For a
yeah.
pistol. So
they show some pretty high damage.
And I took it out and I'm sitting there and I'm like blasting these bad guys in the face. And I'm like, this is not nearly as effective as 250 damage per shot. I wonder what's going on here. So I thought, oh, Andrew, you probably left your home cards on and didn't switch back to your adventure mode cards with your pistol card. And then I double checked, like, no, got my pistol cards on. Okay, here, let's go into your menu, go into the settings, open all that up and put on the numbers so you can actually see how much damage each shot is doing.
Right. That's what I'm doing with numbers.
So I did that. I usually don't have mine on. I turned those on just because I wanted to see, because I'm like, wait a second, this isn't doing as much as it should. Definitely not 250. And so I took a few shots with my alien blaster, which is my normal pistol that I like to use. And I was like, okay, it's doing blah, 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 this base X value of damage. All right, now let's put on the Gauss pistol, which should be significantly higher per shot, which doesn't shoot as fast, but the extreme damage it does, it should be great to use as a weapon. You should kill basically most things that aren't like boss bad guys with how much damage it does. But then I was shooting stuff with it and it was doing the same or less damage per shot as the alien blaster. So I'm like,
and that's despite showing double the numbers.
Yes, in the Pip-Boy it shows it's doing 250 damage per shot, but you shoot it in real life and it's getting nowhere close to that.
So here's a question. Does the pistol have a charge mechanic too? Like on the shotgun, you can charge it up. I don't
know how they work. Maybe I just need to play with it more.
Does it have two numbers on the back? Like, does it show like 00 on the back of the pistol?
I believe so. I only used it for one evening. It was like, this sucks. And I tossed it aside.
If it does, try doing it where you hold down, kind of like Preston's annoying rifle, where you got to charge it.
Yeah.
But these are a lot faster than that. It's much better than the laser musket.
It's not a musket.
No, this is better. So if you can even use it in VATS. You go into VATS, you just hold the trigger down, and that'll charge up to 99 and let go, and that should do the max damage. So I found that does help, and it does work in VATS, but it's still not what you'd expect it to be. And I mean, I've done all kinds of things. I've put on my best shotgun perks. I've added the explosive trait so that you get more damage from explosions and all that. Mm-hmm. I removed my scaly skin because scaly skin, I think that's the one.
Oh, that decreases electrical
your energy.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yep, you take less damage, but it decreases their ability. But it didn't seem to make a difference on this either. It's almost like it's calculating it not as energy, even though it uses energy ammo. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I don't know, but I'll keep trying it. It's not bad. It's at least equal to what I was using. But I was hoping it would blow it out of the water. And I do love my quad double barrel.
Yeah, well, according to my numbers, it should blow it out of the water, but just I'm not doing something right.
Maybe. Or maybe it's just the game hitting a certain cap on what damage it actually allows you to do.
It's lying to us.
Yeah, I mean, there might just be some kind of cap on the way it works against armor and the penetration of the Gauss weapons versus regular. Some people have more energy resistance than others. But so, besides that, I did a number of daily ops, and I mean, all the usual stuff. My actual score level is between like 112 and 115. I'm not sure where I am exactly, but it's definitely the highest I've ever been. I also, let's see, I jumped on with
Can't believe you're
marigolds
still
one day.
counting.
Well, you got to claim those rewards because when the season ends, the rewards will go away. So you got to at least claim them. And, I'll take a look while I do that. I mean, I know I don't need lunch boxes, but they're atoms and then they're hills. There are more exciting things than trail fireworks, which are only good to drop on the ground.
Are there, though? It seems like that's the only thing I get. I was sitting in a queen fight the other day, just launching off the trail fireworks. People around me were all fighting, and I'm just launching fireworks off.
Put on a good show. Oh my gosh.
I was like, Go, guys, go. You look great. Congratulations.
Yeah, and talking about queen fights and weirdness, there are still people getting in there and using the fat man or using the double shot fat man. There are still people annoyed about legacies, but it's calmed down a little bit.
Nights ago, I was at a queen fight and there was just some guy who just had a fat man and it was just carpet fucking bombing everything. And it was just shaking my control. I couldn't see anything. It was just explosions everywhere. I'm like, this is fucking chaos.
Yeah.
What is happening?
I mean, and you talk to them about it and they'll be like, well, VATs still work. But you're basically playing in the whiteness. Like you can't see anything. You're just hitting VATs and shooting, praying that you hit something.
Shooting in the dark,
Yep. So I got on and I played with marigolds for a bit. We worked on our camp. So it was funny. I got a message from her. I think it was Sunday or Monday. She's like, Jess, I fucked up my roof. I don't know what I did. I really messed up my roof. Okay. And I maybe deleted some of the camp and I was trying to change something and I don't know what's happening. So jumped in and we rebuilt it better than ever. She has an awesome roof line now. And she added an annex for crafting. And so we got in there and rebuilt that. And that was a fun day, like a couple hours of building. Never enough of that. On Tuesday, we did our show WTF. That's the Stunts and Dares one. And this was a fun one. Because we made it turkey themed, of course, Thanksgiving themed. So did a Plinko. Have either of you seen when we do like a Plinko board? So Mush built a Plinko board, a nuclear mushroom, out of asteroids. At the very top, it's like 9 stories tall. And there are rugs with traps. So basically you stand on the rug, it kills you, and then you delete the rug. So you fall down through this board with like 6 rows of asteroids. As you fall, and you hit the asteroids on your way down, boom, boom, boom. And then there are scores on the bottom where you land. And so basically, that's how you score. It's human Plinko, basically. Kill yourself, your character falls, and then you get a score. Well, we did a Thanksgiving-themed human Plinko. Set up like a Thanksgiving table with special score on that, and everybody had to wear turkey suits or pilgrim outfits or what have you. Just doing turkey-themed events like that. And then we did Turkey Turf Wars. If you set up an arena in the pit shelter, so you know how that's the outdoor shelter with all that room? Set up an arena there. And that was just a ton of fun because you get a locked enclosed space that you can basically fight people on like a map that's larger than a camp, that's smaller than a town or being stuck in a workshop. But really, that's all my Fallout this week. Just fun stuff. I didn't play any Fallout 1. I also played a game called Pentiment. I got it installed and started up. So I talked about this a week or two ago. That's the game from Obsidian that's coming out that Josh Sawyer, who was one of the lead writer on New Vegas, is doing. And it's a medieval game. And it's really pretty. It's very chill. The music is nice. Right now, I haven't gotten far at all yet. So
yeah, I figured you probably picked it up. I saw that it popped up on Xbox Live or whatever.
Yeah, it's on Game Pass, so how could I not? Exactly. And I wanted to play through more. Just got to the beginning. I'm told that it picks up once the murder happens. So the whole idea is it's a murder mystery, and you basically make friends with this guy at the monastery, and you work there with other monks, and it's really neat. The way the text comes in, like the illuminated manuscript text and stuff, you're essentially playing Canterbury Tales a bit. It's really pretty. So I cannot wait to actually dive in, and hopefully I will this weekend. But that's about it for my gameplay.
Very cool. There was one other little tiny thing that I wanted to mention when Mo and I were running around today. We decided we're running to pick up the Christmas tree today, but I wanted to go downtown and shop at some of our local smaller stores just to see if there was any cool Black Friday stuff going on. But we're just walking around our cute little downtown, and of course all of our local windows, the local businesses have their windows all decked out in the Christmas displays, and they have like the scene set up. Well, there's this one store that, looking into the store, it looks like they're still like it's switching hands or they're still setting up. It doesn't like quite look open yet, but the front display window was just completely decked out in this really amazing, intricate little Christmas village, ceramic Christmas villages with all the mountains. There's the train going around it. There's Santa Claus and his sleigh and an animated thing. So Santa Claus is flying around this mountaintop. It's an amazing little ceramic Christmas village. Huge display throughout this whole big window. Lots of like little churches and buildings, and just really nicely done. Really took a lot of time to set it all up. And then like out of the corner of my eye, I see something that looks a little just slightly out of place in this beautiful Christmas village. And I take a little closer look, and then I like really get in there and look, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I look closer, and right next to this church are three little figures of Run DMC doing their like Christmas rap from like It's Christmas in Hollis, Queens. I'm like, there's like classic Dickens style characters everywhere in this Christmas village, but three just like Run DMC characters off in one little corner. I'm like, this is the coolest Christmas display I've ever seen. They've got Run DMC rapping with all these carolers. This is hilarious.
That's
and then
awesome.
the lady must have been walking by who was inside. She heard me. She's like, he noticed. Somebody noticed the Red DMC. I'm like, this is the coolest display I've ever. She came out, started talking to me like, this is hilarious. I love this. She's like, I was hoping someone would notice. I'm like, this is so funny. This is really, really funny. She's like, oh, thank you for stopping. I just thought that was really funny. It's so weird. I'd never expected to see three little Run DMC ceramic characters in a Christmas village. It's so random. But I thought that was hilarious. All right, so we got through our gameplay.
Well, we actually have one feedback that was sent in. We got feedback from Jeff, Still Falling.
Oh, Jeff, attaboy.
So we're going to hear about his adventures with Fallout 1 so far.
Hey, Fallout feed, Jeff from Cleveland here, checking in with my first feedback for this season's Roundtable. This season, I will be playing a frustrated PC illiterate character. My game starts with me spending about an hour trying to recover my Steam account because it's been months, possibly years, since I've opened my Steam account. My Series X gets most of my gaming attention now. After I finally get access to my Steam account, I launch the game for the first time. As I'm starting my character creation, halfway through creation, my game crashes the desktop. I reboot, try again. Again, halfway through, I crash the desktop. I tried this about 3 or 4 more times before I tried launching it in classic version because it's recommended for older PC. And apparently my PC qualifies as an older PC. Again, I keep crashing over and over again. I'm no computer whiz, so after about an hour and a half of trying, I gave up, shut down my PC, sat on my couch, and booted up Fallout 4 again for my umpteenth character. Since I'm re-listening to Season 1 of the Roundtable, I decided to take Andrew's ASA Survival Permadeath Challenge instead of fighting with my PC. The Permadeath Challenge is not going well either. My goal was to take Norhagen Beach, but as it's going right now, I can't even get past Concord. One day I will play Fallout 1, but today is not that day. I will play now vicariously through you guys. And one more thing from Season 1 Roundtable, if we were playing that drinking game involving that game that starts with S, then we would have all been on the floor after this week's gameplay at the beginning of the episode. Keep up the great work, and as always, I'll see you as you step over my dead body in survival in the wasteland.
Very nice.
That's beautiful. So, I mean, I am sorry. And it sounds like his experience with Fallout 1 was a lot like yours at first, Andrew, as well.
Well, I mean, me booting in classic mode, like he mentioned, I was like, oh, there's his ticket. Great. He discovered classic mode. He's in the clear. But no, it didn't work for him. That's weird.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if he's playing the Steam version instead of GOG or something else causing an issue. I mean, there can be all kinds of conflicts with older things on newer PCs. But he's mentioning the classic permadeath. What was that challenge from the first season?
Are you seriously? I'm not the one who's listening to the season. Don't ask me. Ask Jeff. Jeff, what that was about.
He mentioned the whole drinking game with the S word. So he mentioned Skyrim too much, is what he's saying last episode, right?
I thought he was like talking about like spin the bottle. Wait, that's not drinking. That's
no, that was part of the thing because we're a Fallout show. Back when we were trying to be a little bit more strict about talking Fallout. Take a shot whenever someone mentions Skyrim instead of Fallout.
No more Skyrim. So I imagine this survival challenge thing was initiated by Pat, and he was always our survival fan. But I don't know. What do you think? It's permadeath, so I assume you die, you're done. I assume that's the challenge.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for that feedback, Jeff. Sorry you've been having trouble with it, but I'm glad you're playing Fallout 4.
And you can take a look and see if using the Fallout Fixed mod helps you with that. So since you're playing on PC, get that mod, try to load it up and see. All it wants to do is see that you have a copy of Fallout for it to access, and then it takes care of all the rest.
Also want to mention Black Friday sales going all the way through Cyber Monday. So if you're listening to all the Fallout games are on sale, all the Elder Scrolls games are on sale. I mean, lots more. For PC, Steam has its usual sale trying to sell you everything under the sun this weekend.
Everything on basically all platforms and stuff, generally?
So there's some small sales on Xbox right now. I didn't notice that Fallout 4 was on sale,
Okay.
but it is definitely all on sale on PC.
So what am I looking for? Skyrim, the new one? What's the new one called? I always forget what new edition is called.
Anniversary.
No, anniversary edition? Is that
Yes.
one, anniversary edition?
On PC,
what
the
else was-
upgrade
what else
was
there?
only $10 this week instead of the usual $20.
Okay.
that was nice.
I should go ahead and hop on that.
And our research department has gone back and confirmed what I thought it was, which was when you guys did the starting off in Sanctuary Hills and see who could who could get to the highest level before they died. And
Well,
just like you did when you played against me, you built like 1,000 rugs.
Yeah, I sat there and built rubber mats, I think, because they gave you slightly more XP than the cloth mat, right? So I built 10 billion of those, and I got to like level 4, and yay, you win.
That's the Fallout version of leveling your blacksmith by just building a bunch of daggers.
Exactly,
Yeah.
that's the dagger. Remember the bracers, leather bracers.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, yeah, Lee confirmed that for us.
Thank you, Lee.
That's the challenge. Oh, yes. Gosh, that was, I think, maybe even Kara was around in those days. Holy cow. Blast from the past.
So on another non-Fallout related Iguana Bits, but kind of Fallout related. So
No?
Witcher 3 update was revealed yesterday, or Wednesday actually. They did a stream for CD Projekt Red, and that'll be coming out in just a couple weeks. So what this is the next-gen update for Witcher 3. And not only is it essentially a next-gen upgrade for frame rate and graphics, they're adding ray tracing and a bunch of stuff like that. They're also adding a photo mode, which, yay, okay, I'll be playing this. I 100%ed the original game. I never touched a DLC, and I want to go back on that, which means I'll probably be doing this before Cyberpunk because I love Witcher. It's just kind of a thing. But they are also doing a classic next-gen treatment where they are adding in community favorite mods. So essentially kind of like Creation Club into the base game. So graphics update, photo mode, a bunch of community mods and quality of life stuff people have done all in there with new content. And I feel like this is kind of the new path. This is what they did for Anniversary Edition with incorporating off Creation Club, and they're doing the similar thing for Witcher. And I think it is kind of showing us what we're going to get with Fallout 4. While they haven't completely detailed what the next-gen update Fallout 4 is, it seems like it's going to be the same basic idea. Better graphics, possibly a few new modes and updates, and then new Creation Club content. So it's like this is almost a new blueprint companies are doing. Instead of doing full remasters or remakes, in order to kind of jump on to the next generation, they're doing this kind of step. And as long as they give us extra content along with it, it kind of feels like a deal, you know? So I just wanted to mention that. There was no real news because it was Thanksgiving, so you didn't get a whole lot this week.
It just stinks because I feel the new method of doing it means that I will never, ever, ever get Fallout 4 on the Switch. It just won't
Or 3,
happen.
or New
Or
Vegas.
3 or New Vegas. Nothing will ever be on the Switch like that because of this new format they're trying.
It does feel
Right?
less likely if they're not doing full remasters, but never rule it out. Never rule it out. It's still possible.
I'm losing hope.
Mhm. It's understandable. They've got all hands on deck for Starfield, and then they'll be on Elder Scrolls, but who knows? They might diversify. I just wish
Well,
those
what are all
rumors
these
a year
extra
ago.
offices open for, you know? Come on.
Well, and it's so interesting because we really thought that they would be branching out more. The Montreal BGS studios will be working on mostly mobile games, and BGS Austin doing 76 and other projects. And
Is it
while
not
they
that?
are
Is
a little
everyone
bit,
on Starfield now?
Yeah,
Is all
it
branches
seems
on
like
Starfield?
Todd and most of the managers, the people at Bethesda, are kind of running BGS like they've always have. As much as, yes, they have these groups that they can work on different things, the majority of the team tends to be focused on one big project, which is why even though people talk about with 76 being, oh, that was Austin's project, but it really wasn't. I mean, it was, but plenty of people at BGS Maryland were working on that at the same time. It really was a cooperative effort. And yeah, the go forward maintenance and new stuff was out of Austin, but the whole team was on it. And now it seems like the whole team, except for those dedicated to maybe a secret project or two, like small teams, is all Starfield. Whenever they talk about it, and Todd said this, he's like, yeah, we work as a team. All the studios together, there's different sections, but they work together. And that could change after Starfield comes out, but it doesn't seem like it. So unless they branch out and really do split, I imagine it's going to be mostly all hands on deck for Elder Scrolls.
And I mean, I know do they actually put a date on Elder Scrolls? How much longer after Starfield is Elder Scrolls? Is that another year, another 2 after?
Oh, no. You're looking at 3 or 4 minimum.
3 to 4, good lord.
Yeah, initially when Starfield was coming out 2022, estimates were 25 or 26, which makes sense. Their average time per game has always been 3 to 5 years. And as time's gone on, they've taken a little bit longer. So at least 4. But now that this is coming out in 2023, and we don't know when for Starfield yet, hopefully first half of 2023, maybe April or May. Get Redfall, January, probably February. And then Starfield, April or May, hopefully June at the latest. And no more delays, please.
Jesus criminy. Mo's going to be in goddamn high school before Fallout 5 comes out.
Exactly. I mean, I want it when it's ready, so don't rush it. And they really could push Starfield till next fall. Give it a full year. They do love the fall releases, but I'm hoping they stay on track for this because they've got lots of other big games they're working on at Microsoft and Xbox too. And some games can do great launching in May. Witcher launched in May. Oblivion launched in, what was it? Probably March or April? It was spring. Anywho, that's neither here nor there. Looking ahead at the community calendar, right now we've got a Purveyor sale, script surplus, and cap. So it's basically the everything but the kitchen sink weekend, like they do. And next week in Double Mutation. So
awesome. I logged on yesterday. I was like, oh my God, look at all the script he has. Let's take it all.
A lot of script. Buy your modules, roll your weapons if you want with that. Minerva's big sale coming up. And Nuka World on tour on December 6th. So basically, if you haven't finished the season, you've still got a week and a half to finish it. So get in there and do that. Everything's looking great for Nuka World on tour, but there's really not much happening until then. I mentioned
I would
that.
imagine so.
I should say there is a new community calendar. Let me pull that
Oh,
up.
yeah.
So we
They
did
were
get it.
very specific with dates and stuff, right?
Yeah, so for the first time since the first season, maybe the second season, we got an end date. So the next season is not only starting December 6th, but ending on February 28th.
Is that normal length? That seems long to me, but
no, that's normal
almost
length.
3 months.
Exactly,
Yeah,
12 weeks. So 12 weeks
12
is
weeks,
the
okay.
standard. They've done as short as 10 and as long as 16.
Oh, the good old days, 16 weeks.
That was the one season, yeah,
The
when it was season
glory
4
days.
or 5 there. It went forever. Yeah, you enjoyed that scorecation for sure.
No, scorecation. The endless days of scorecation.
But there's not a whole lot on the calendar to focus on really yet. New things coming up. We'll have Holiday Scorched, Jingle Scorched, of course, around Christmas. We'll have Fashnock scheduled for mid to late February, like last time. A new event listed March 30th to April 3rd. So at the very end of the calendar, on that section, they label new events, season and more.
Completely normal day, everyone. Don't
Yeah.
worry. So you know that it's going to be, they got something up their sleeve.
Just a normal weekend. What they've done the last 2 April Fools were giving us Jingle Scorched on April 1st. So it was just like, surprise,
right.
Jingle Scorched. And so maybe just a normal weekend, they'll do that again. But I have a feeling there's more to it. Now, I've seen ridiculous speculation. It's bizarre how far people go with these things sometimes. They're like, well, that's when they're going to announce Fallout 5. Like, what? What? This small line on a community calendar means Fallout? No, not happening.
Yes.
They're like, well, that's going to be Starfield weekend. So that's why. No, why would they put that on the Bethesda community calendar for Fallout 76? Like, maybe, but no. So it could be a new event. That's what I expect because of the fact that the title for March says new events, season, and more. Okay, well, new event. Last year we got the Alien event right around that time. But
All right.
besides Nuka World on tour, and then that new event, end of March, those are the only new things on the community calendar. Now there may be other things coming. Sometimes people confuse the community calendar with a roadmap, and it's really not. It's more about just the little things in game, the fun events and community stuff and camp creations, events, stuff like that. We probably will get a new roadmap for what is coming next year in January, February, like usual. Last several years, we've gotten a roadmap for the entire year by February. And this is the first year that we don't actually know what's going to happen in 76. Every other year, we've known what's coming the year ahead. But the only reason for that is because they've delayed half of what was on the roadmap. Well, this year, they actually got everything on the roadmap done. There was less of it, but we got expeditions and we got Nuka World on tour last half of the year like we're supposed to. So next year, we can assume another expedition, maybe another mission in the expedition we already have to the pit. That would be great. Maybe first half of the year, hopefully. And beyond that, we really just don't have any idea. So I'm very curious.
Yeah, it's, I assume it's going to be more the same, right? They'll just create. Do you think they'll just keep writing an occasional new event with a sort of new kind of enemy every
roadmap going
so
forward?
Often,
yeah, I expect a new event or two each year.
Keep
until we
status
get
quo, right?
a good stable of maybe like 8 events. Like right now we have 4 or 5 seasonal yearly events. So get that up to 7 or 8 that they can rotate in. And then an expedition or 2 a year along with missions. But they have said that they're not done with story content. So I'm hopeful that we get like one big story chunk still in a year or 2. We'll see what they put on the roadmap.
Stick with us, Bethesda guys.
Yeah.
Give us some new stuff to do. Actually, I don't know.
This fall has been the best in a while. Nuka World on Tour is going to be big. I think a lot of people will be excited about that. I know some people definitely planning to come back for it. And it's just going to really add to the diversity of the map and diversity of events to do. Really, this year, we got more than last year, in my opinion. Last year, expanded daily ops, got worlds, got ended nuclear winter, and got still rain. That was last year. This year, expedition, expanded worlds. We got expeditions with different locations for the pit. And we got a number of daily ops expansions, all kinds of new locations and enemies, ton of new events. Alien first. Mothman Equinox was technically December.
I was going to say, was Mothman? It was, you're right. It was before.
That was technically last year, but we got 2 big new events. And now with Nuka World on Tour, we're going to get a bunch more. But we also got events such as the Eviction Notice, the Moonshine Jamboree. We got actual world events, not just seasonal huge events. So
but there were 3 of those, right?
Once NWOT launches, we're going to have gotten more this year than last year overall.
NWOT.
Yeah. It's funny. I keep thinking of that like New Kids on the Block. I'm like, NKOTB.
No way. That's what I was just thinking. I was like, oh, she sounds like NKOTB. She doesn't even know it, but she totally knows it.
We're of an age. Hey, I read at least 3 unauthorized biographies, okay?
Oh, no way.
Middle school happened.
Jess.
Yes.
Quick question. Please tell me you've gone through all the data mine files and there's some really exciting Atomic Shop Christmas items this year. Come on.
Ooh.
No whammies. Big bucks, no whammies.
There are some great data mine stuff, but I haven't gone through the files that closely yet. I've been more thinking about all the stuff coming with Nuka World on Tour.
We're calibrated differently here, Jess.
You're
like, oh, events. And I'm like, where's my cute mistletoe something or other?
So, okay, hold on. Let me open up the mother load. Let me see the last data mine. Okay, this was just on the 10th. Here we go.
Oh, that's fairly recently, yeah. All right, what do we got?
Oh my goodness. So you're going to love this. We've got a Feed Me Seymour flytrap plant.
No way.
A very cool looking plant.
That would have been really nice for a contest you did last month.
Andrew, I'm seeing new Christmas trees.
We already have like 7 of those.
But these are like the classic aluminum style with like built-in lights and all metal.
All right.
Ooh, very glowy, very pretty.
I don't even know what I want. I don't know what I'm expecting. So I don't know why I'm prodding you for. It's not like I really need this Christmas item. I've got Santa blow mold and stuff already, so I'm set.
Yeah, I'm just scrolling through. I can send you links to the different data mines right here. I should call out DSJ, of course. Mad Dog Grot data mines, DSJ data mines, a few other people do. I'm currently looking at DSJ's stuff with the new Christmas trees. Oh, there's some ivy vines over top of glass. Glass and Christmas ivy.
Ooh, outfits. Any new? Oh, because I always wanted those fun Christmas sweaters that they had in Fallout 4. If you ever did the Christmas sweater mod, I loved those. those.
Andrew, there's a Kwanzaa and I think maybe a menorah too. I know you like that.
Wonder, I love the menorah. Yeah. We're not Jewish, but we still light a menorah in our house just because they're so beautiful. I love that. Another thing was like an ice skating rink with ice skates and stuff. I never knew how they would pull that off, really. But
so I have a friend who actually made an ice skating rink as a kid.
Yeah, I've seen a couple in game. I'm always impressed by the builds, but I'm like, I kind of want a pre-built structure. So I need to not spend my atoms.
And new presents listed too.
Wait, what does that mean? New floor decorations?
You know how?
Yes,
we currently
items for us
have. We currently only have the Zach's presents. It's new floor decoration present items.
Right. I can only spend those so many different directions.
Speaking of which, I know exactly. Did you get those stockings hung by the jackalope chimney with care?
No, I could never get it to stick. But I don't think I have as good of a touch or feel as people like you do.
If I hop in with you, because I had an idea of how to do it, so I'll hop in with you or try it myself and see if I can find something that works.
But I thought that would look really nice above that fireplace with the little jackalope. Hang a few of the Nuka-Cola stockings there. That would be nice, but I just couldn't get them to stick. And then I tried it on other doors, and I just couldn't get them to stick on any door. Anything that moved, I couldn't get anything to stick onto. So I was like, I bet you there's a technique, a trick that these builder types know how to do that I'm just not privy to. Like the equivalent of, see, you've talked about drop merging, but on the horizontal axis instead of the vertical axis. And I've never tried that either. So
on the horizontal, you have to do it via destruction for the most part. So you can't really merge sideways. But if you flame trap things, you can often get them a little bit deeper into each other. Also, you can, for instance, you can do a reverse drop. So you can say have a rug, and you can float something over the rug. And then if you destroy the rug, the things floating above it would also be destroyed. You can build something else over top of it and fix everything.
Oh, crazy. Who figures this shit out?
We spend too much time playing with it, for sure.
But, I mean, I just don't know how your brain goes, let me try this. Oh, and how about this and this and this? And is it accidental or people are trying to solve these problems? Anyway, we could get into build techniques all night.
We could. But let's wrap up the Iguana Bits with the most important story. Did you know there was a Fallout Shelter Thanksgiving special quest and outfit?
Oh my god! I saw that there was a pilgrim hat on the icon now, but I have not loaded. I've not loaded a shelter for weeks now. What's our quest like?
I think it's something gobbles. Hold on. Let me see if they tell us. There was a tweet about it. There is not an Inside the Vault about it, of course, because you're not going to give us a full Inside the Vault
tweet
shelter.
About it. Thanks, guys.
I mean, it's something. Okay, let's go to latest news.
Right.
There are fully upgraded diners and living quarters with a Thanksgiving theme. There are Thanksgiving outfits from Quest and Lunchboxes, both a male and female pilgrim, and limited time Thanksgiving quests. It looks like there are 3 of them. And the big one is called The Last Gobble.
I should get in there and do that.
Final Gobble. Yeah.
Boo-boo-boo. Boo-boo-boo-boo.
So that'll be Killer Diller.
Yeah.
Killer
for turkeys.
That is all the real news I have this week. I took a look at Reddit to see the top stories. The top story this week is actually people kind of asking for bring back a full day-night cycle, which I'm in favor of that. I know Ray is as well. Ever since they made it so that it's just not as dark as long at night, and we only get like 6 hours of dark and it's not as dark, there's a good 1,000 people upvoting that over here. Talking about how...
That's actually a good point. I rock what is that card called? It's not like called vampires.
Night
person? Night person. I run that card because it gives you an intelligence boost at night. Is that a 12-hour night, or is it really only like the 6 hours that they give you?
I believe the card is still available 12 hours. Like it's still like 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. or something.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. It might be 6 to 6, actually. I
just always have it passively on, but I've never actually looked at the numbers to compare time against the clock and see what time it is and blah, blah, blah. You know, I just have it on. I just have it on for that intelligence boost. Right on.
That's about it for exciting top stories.
Well, when we were just talking about future projections of what the game is going to do in the future, I was just sort of remarking to myself just the other day, like how many low level characters I'm seeing all over the place. I don't think it's an all of the sudden thing. But I'm just remarking to myself, good Lord, there's still people
comes in
trying
waves.
this game out for the first time.
Definitely. Like a lot of people,
4 years later, whatever it is.
there are people who came back who had stopped starting new characters or coming back after 2 years. Still happening. It's one of the most played Xbox Game Pass, Xbox Live games right now.
Is Shelter still the biggest, most successful?
Oh, for Fallout? Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Shelter is
That's the one
definitely
that's great.
Fallout, but Fallout 76 is in the Game Pass games one of the most played. Now, there are plenty
Sweet.
of other games that are doing better on Xbox Live as a whole, but for Game Pass, we're way
course.
up there. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, that's all the Lana Bits real news we have. Just for shouts, I just wanted to give a really heartfelt thank you to Marigolds for all of her assistance she's given me this week with a little project I'm working on. So Heath, thank you so much for everything you have done. And hopefully you hear this and you are very, very, very much appreciated for all your side hustle. Thank you so much. Do you guys have anything else you'd like to get into this evening?
That is it for me.
Yeah, think I'm good.
All right. Well, you can find him over there at his No Man's Sky show over at the Butcher Baker Candlemaker in Space. You can find them on the Twitter at BBCISSS, and he can also be found at RayLB. Ray, thanks so much for hopping on.
Good times.
She can be found over there at Wastelanders, also at Dames Who Game, and at Sleep is for Tea. Jess, thank you so much.
Thank you. And now at Jessica Starr over on Hive.
Ooh.
You're looking for the new socials. We're trying out a little something.
Trying them all on.
Yep, actually
you
got
should
my name
all-
for once.
Great. Oh, you got your real name. I think Shalene got at Shalene.
She
It's
did.
like, yes. Oh, man. You can join our Discord for SA Podcasting. Love to see you over there. I can be found at the Fallout feed and also at Indie Android. I would like to thank everyone for downloading this edition of the Fallout feed, and we will see you in the wasteland.
And we're out.
Awesome possum.
Recording stopped.
Wunderschön. Recording stopped.
Recording stopped.
Thank you for downloading this episode of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. If you are interested in doing a play-along character with us, the show can be contacted by emailing falloutroundtable@gmail.com. For the Roundtable schedule, our Amazon link, and all other show information, please head on over to asapodcasting.com, where you will find the Fallout Feed, a Skyrimatic podcast, our YouTube channel, the Chatterbox, as well as other content. Once again, thank you for downloading, and we'll see you in the wasteland.